Welcome back to the channel. And I just read this article, so you don't have to. But we can go over some things. One, EA's earning call. Oh my fucking goodness, bro. It was bad. And this article goes over that. So we're going to talk about this. EA has learned all the wrong things from Dragon Age to Veilguard failing. And it's going to be a disastrous future for Mass Effect 5. For one, they put 5 behind Mass Effect. You know they're not a fan of BioWare. You know they're not a real fan of BioWare. If they put a 5 at the end of Mass Effect, you know they don't fuck with BioWare for real. That's one thing. For two, EA is definitely not learning shit from what happened with Dragon Age to Veilguard. They're not learning anything. They blamed it on them not putting the live service shit into the game. That's why the game failed. People hated the game for a number of reasons. Characters were too soft. Writing was too soft. LGBTQ. And the story, I like the story, but I can definitely agree with some people that the pacing of the game was definitely kind of off. Because it went from a lot of shit going on to nothing going on to a lot of shit going on. That's exactly how the game went. They wanted to structure how Mass Effect 2 was, but Mass Effect 2 flowed different. It played different, and everything you did in Mass Effect 2 it fucking worked. It did it for Dragon Age to Veilguard. For a whole lot of people, it did not. And fucking EA is like, oh man, players really like shared worlds and motherfucking engaging content. Like, no, nigga, we want a Dragon Age game. That is a Dragon Age game. To me, Veilguard was a Dragon Age game because all the Dragon Age games are different. But for a lot of people, it was missing what they wanted from Dragon Age. It didn't have it. There were some things that I wanted in Dragon Age that wasn't there too. Not like it wasn't, but I still accepted Veilguard for the game that they created. Could it have been better? Of course, but I can't call it a piece of shit. A lot of people call it a piece of shit because it wasn't the game that they wanted. And I'm like, you gotta see this from a different fucking angle, bro. But that's just me. I play games around here. I play a whole lot of different games. I can't judge every game off the same fucking metric. But most of these journalists, gamers on the internet, they judge every game on a fucking flat surface. And that's how they judge things. You can't really blame them for that. But yeah, about this article though, EA is fucking up. They're fucking up bad. They're talking about since Apex has fallen off, they're going to make an Apex 2. Oh, EA, bro. They're talking about them not putting live service shit in Dragon Age is the reason Dragon Age didn't reach as many players as they wanted. Dragon Age sold like a couple million units in the month it was out. People was calling that failure. I mean, if it sold a couple million units, I mean, Dragon Age has been more successful before. But that was 10 years ago, bro. Like, you gotta understand, like, the times have definitely changed. But trying to say live service elements would have saved Dragon Age to Veilguard, you gotta be an idiot. And he's the CEO of fucking EA. Oh my gosh, bro. Fuck. So the Mass Effect concern could be well placed. Could be well placed. I'm still looking forward to the next Mass Effect game. Of course I am. You see my wall. You see that fucking collector's edition right there. I don't have to point it out every time. But I do for a lot of people that just, casually come in and watch this. To the other thing I want to mention. Because they say a lot of things in this article. But they get to the end. And it upset me. Because I'm like, yeah, you really don't know your shit. And you're writing this fucking article. I mean, this is an opinion piece, of course. It's from fucking PC Gamer. They write their opinion. It's fine. But when you start getting facts wrong, is where I draw the fucking line, bro. Because I've been a fan a long time. I've been playing these games a long. They talk about Anthem. Come on, Anthem wasn't a horrible game. It was a failed live service game, but it wasn't a horrible fucking game. They glazed Baldur's Gate hard. They glazed Baldur's Gate 3 so fucking hard, and I'm not that big of a fan of Baldur's Gate 3, so I can't really agree with them on the glaze. But when it comes to this part right here, plenty of acceptable RPGs under EA, which they have. Mass Effect 1 through 3, you started offline. Mass Effect 1, that game right there, is a Microsoft game, not an EA game. Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 are EA games. Mass Effect 2 was already being developed when they fucking got bought by EA. They were already doing that. That's why I connected to Mass Effect 1 so well. But when it went to PlayStation, they had to make a whole fucking Dark Horse comic book to help them understand the story. But this fucking PC gamer journalist just forgot that part. Origins did come under EA. I think they were working on that under Microsoft as well. Then EA bought them. So Origins and Mass Effect 2 came out, what, a year apart because they were already being worked on at Microsoft. Then Dragon Age 2 came out. When you put exceptional RPGs, Dragon Age 2 should not be in the conversation. That motherfucker scored a 70 what on Metacritic? People hated the fuck out of Dragon Age 2. I wasn't one of those niggas. Just like I'm not one of those niggas that hate fucking Veilguard. But Dragon Age 2 is being remembered in hindsight as a fucking masterpiece all of a sudden. When if you played Dragon Age 2, when it came out, that game got shit on. Just like Dragon Age the Veilguard did. For different reasons, of course. Because the characters were better. The combat was worse. But like the environments were bland. The story wasn't that RPG because you couldn't make choices in that game. People hated Dragon Age 2, but all of a sudden now it's an exceptional RPG. Now you're just remembering shit wrong. Star Wars The Old Republic, the motherfucking MMO that they gave away. BioWare gave this MMO away. They don't even work on it no more. They did create it under EA though, because they were using the Star Wars license still. But I read this and I'm like, oh, you fucked up because your facts are completely dead. What are you doing, bro? What are you're remembering BioWare wrong. You remember BioWare, they only made hits? Are you crazy? They lulled at times. People don't like Mass Effect 3. You can't call that shit exceptional. I enjoyed the fuck out of Mass Effect 3. But a lot of people hated Mass Effect 3. A lot of people hated Dragon Age 2. Not that many people even played Star Wars The Old Republic. Gave the development to a whole other team. It's like when I got to that, and then it started talking about Mass Effect 5, and I'm like, bro, you put a 5 on it, I know you're not a fan. And then I read that last article, that last paragraph, and I'm like, yeah, you're not a fan of BioWare for real. You never was. They act like they were. They act like they know shit. They don't. No. Come on now. You actually didn't know anything. But yeah, I was like, come on now, bro. That hooked me. I read down to there and I'm like, there's no fucking way you just said this shit. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, bro. They just wanted to rant on here and they got a platform to do it. So I'm ranting too. Make sure to like button, subscribe. EA is fucking up though. The Apex 2? Come on now, EA. I'm gonna have to cover that in another video probably, but I'll see y'all in the next one.